Hello and welcome to our third podcast. Today we will be covering the topic of reflection. So during this podcast we'll be looking at what is reflective practice, the benefits and some of the barriers to reflection, methods of reflection, and a dynamic reflection. So let's make a start. Firstly, we'll be looking at what is reflective practice, or in other words, reflecting on your own practice or performance. So as Playwork Principle 6 states, the playworker's response to children and young people's playing is based on a sound, up-to-date knowledge of the play process and reflective practice. So basically, as playwork practitioners, we need to be ensuring that we are continuously reflecting on our practice to ensure that we are providing a quality play experience and opportunities for the children and young people that attend our settings. Reflective practice is an essential tool for playworkers, okay? Being able to undertake reflection on our own practice, on our organisational framework, the play environment, events, and also on others' practice is essential. So that's working with our colleagues and reflecting on their practice as well. This will help to maintain the quality play environment that effectively meets the needs and rights of children and young people. We need to be able to make informed judgments and decisions based on what we have seen and heard, as well as draw upon our own experiences and knowledge. Reflective practice provides us with the opportunity to gain a greater knowledge and understanding of the children and their interests. Not an insight into how they develop, but an insight into how and why children play and where we fit into that as play workers. It allows us an insight into what went well during their play session and where improvements can be made. It allows us to see whether our interventions, this is how we involve ourselves in children's play, whether they were appropriate or whether they were in fact inappropriate. Reflection allows us the opportunity to share important and relevant information with our colleagues, and as I said before, ensuring that we are providing a quality play environment that meets the needs and rights of children and young people. So let's think a bit more about the benefits to reflection. Okay, so as with everything in life, they have pros and cons, However, we need to ensure to work to overcome these barriers. So these barriers that may pose while carrying out our reflective practice, how can we improve on our practice? So the benefits to reflective practice are huge, not only to the children, but to the staff as well. It can help to better our performance as we can see where we can improve and become a more inclusive play environment. It can help to focus our thoughts and help support confidence in practice and development. It also involves exploring our own feelings, our values and our beliefs, and the importance that these have on our day-to-day actions and interactions, and also allows us to consider our feelings and emotions, but also the feelings and emotions of others as well. It allows us to put our understanding of the playwork principles and the playwork theory and knowledge into practice. So there are some benefits of reflection that affects the children in a positive way as well. So not just us as play workers, but they also have that positive effect on the children as well. So as play workers, having an understanding of what different play types exist can support us with ensuring that we are providing for those play types within our provision, ensuring that the children are gaining an experience of all the different play types. Having a knowledge of what materials or resources have high play value, a knowledge of what different play spaces exist, and understanding that the children in the setting, that their stages, their development, their play behaviours, they need all these different play spaces to be able to explore their feelings and their emotions. It also helps us to understand the way children in our settings play, their interests and their needs. It helps us to identify behaviour triggers. So why are children behaving that way? Is there any concerns? Are they bored? Are they hungry? Are there certain times of the day where the setting becomes more stressful or disruptive? Why? Can it be alleviated? So it allows us as well to observe the play cycle, the cues, the returns, and so on. And there are so many benefits to reflective practice. I could carry on listing them forever. So just take a few minutes now, just pause the podcast and just have a few little minutes. Can you think of any other benefits to reflective practice that I haven't mentioned? So reflective practice isn't always going to be easy. There will be times when it will be uncomfortable to look at ourselves and the whys and the so whats. It will cause us to question our values and what we think we know. It'll make us analyse our actions and our responses. Some of the barriers may include time or lack of time to reflect. Difference of opinions within teams could be a barrier to our reflection. But ultimately, reflective practice is how we will learn, develop, grow and better ourselves. But it was also help develop our practice as well and the compensatory play environments that we are providing for these children and young people. So let's think now about ways that we can reflect on our practice. So there are a number of ways that we can reflect on our practice, and finding the way that suits you best will support you in your reflection. You could take 5 minutes at the end of the session to discuss with colleagues how the session went, share information, share ideas, have that little conversation at the end. You could reflect personally, so on the drive home, on the walk home, while you're clearing away after the children have left, while you're at home doing the dishes, while you're cooking the tea. You know, it's about finding that 5 minutes just to have that reflection on your practice. Another really good way is a reflective journal. This is a way where we can reflect and organise our thinking and like the actions of others as well, thoughts of others, feelings, our own feelings. But it also needs to be personal to you, but and make sense to you. So this could be written, spoken, recorded, mind mapped, drawn, however you find most useful to keep a record of events and situations. But it's really, really important to remember that there are a number of possible reflection points, as reflection can occur before, during, and after a play session. So if we're thinking now of reflection in action, so this is stopping and thinking while in the process. So using your intuition. This will happen during the play session and is an immediate response. So it's almost like thinking on your feet, okay? So that's a reflection in action. As it's happening, you're reflecting as you're going. So reflection on action. So this is thinking after the event, where you've continued to think about what happened and you've tried to understand the results or the implications of what took place. This helps you make sense of your own professional practice, about how you do things, how you interact with others, how the playwork ethos is implemented. So this is about reflecting on the practice. So, afterwards. So reflection on inaction. So this is thinking about what whoever could have done that you didn't do. And why didn't you do it? So it's thinking about what didn't happen. You know, what implications did that have? Did the children miss certain play opportunities? Why didn't those things happen? And then the last one is reflecting before action. So think in advance, visualizing how it might be how it might be seen, how it might be received, etc. Thinking about the session in advance. So planning, getting things together. Is the area safe? Have you risk assessed? It's all those things that you do before the play. So reflection in these terms includes thinking about processes and feelings involved, as well as thinking about the actions itself, the inactions, and the consequences of either of those. Okay, so we're going to move on now to a well-known theorist, Bob Hughes. He developed the following as a means of encouraging playworkers to reflect on themselves and as a simple reflection tool which helps playworkers to analyse the quality of the play environments against 4 areas. Okay? And these are intuition, memory, experience, and evidence. Bob Hughes believes that as play workers, we use our intuition, our personal childhood memories, our experiences of working with children, of being with children in play situations, as well as what we have gained from whatever researches we may have done, any further reading we've done, any further training we've done, and these are going to help inform and impact our practice and the quality of the play that we are offering for our children. This process is referred to as IMEE. So intuition, memory, experience, and evidence. So intuition, so that is using your intuition. So what should a good play opportunity, a good play environment be? Okay. Memories. So these are what good play is. We're using our own play memories to, see how children should be playing. So we're almost rekindling our childhood memories, where we played, who we played with, what we did, and how we felt. Remembering these is vital to allow children to have the experiences of fantastic play. Experience. So experience of what good play is. This is based on a professional practice. Things that can go wrong, how and why they go wrong, things children seem to prefer, things children seem to enjoy. So this is using our experience, the years you've been working with children to make those judgments. And then the last one is evidence. So this is evidence of what good play is based on our learning, based on what we've been taught, based on any research that we may have done. So when reflecting on our own personal practice and on the practice that goes on in our setting, we need to consider all aspects of the IMEE. And that will allow us the insights to improve and offer a better play opportunity for our children. Okay, so moving on, we're now going to look at another reflective tool, and this is SLLRRRP. So SLLRRRP is a way to dynamically reflect on practice. SLLRRRP is an acronym that stands for Stop, Look, Listen, Reflect, React, Reflect, and Practice. So SLLRRRP is a model of reflecting used by play workers to support and enhance children's play opportunities. It helps develop our practice, and it's almost a form of in-action reflection, okay? So when faced with a decision on whether or not to intervene, so that SLLRRRP allows us that little snapshot just to see if we're going to intervene or not, okay? It helps us consider the thought process that goes immediately before an intervention. So we naturally reflect in action, as I said before, without even thinking about it. But if we can be more mindful of the process, then as play workers, it supports facilitation of that freely chosen play and allowing the children to take risk, really. Okay? So the first one is stop. So resist the temptation to jump right in. So this is giving ourselves time to consider the best response. So as it says on the tin, we are stopping. Yeah. Look. So have a look what's going on. We're gathering information with all our senses, aren't we? We're having a look. We're not jumping in straight away. Listening. So what's happening? What's being said? Are the children happy in their play? Then we're going to reflect. So we're going to consider whether we should intervene or not. And if so, how? What could be the effect of our intervention or our non-intervention? And by non-intervention there, I mean, we haven't stopped the play. So now the children may become hurt. We haven't intervened soon enough. So harm has come. Yeah. But when we always say this, we need to be making sure that we are not intervening. We do not want to intervene in children's play unless it is absolutely necessary to do so. So react. So this is having considered all the responses that we've just talked about there. We're going to react to the situation. So this might mean, as I said, stopping, moving in, stopping the play for safety reasons, if the child may come to physical or emotional harm, or are we going to do nothing? Yeah, so that's the react. We are actually reacting on what we have seen. Then we're going to reflect. So what impact have we had on that play process? Did our intervention help or did we actually hinder their play process? And then the last one is practice. So this is where we will continue to reflect and develop our practice. So this is where we're going to constantly adapt our intervention styles, which we will continually practice and development. The cycle will become second nature to us, and it'll help us to improve on future interventions and practice, really. Right, so there we have it, a whistle-stop tour of inclusion. Right, thank you so much for listening, and keep our eye out for our next instalment, which will be Playwork Principles 1 and 2. Thanks very much. Bye.